So I've been asked if it's possible to create a slideshow in RightBooth, and the answer is yes, and this video will show you how to do it. I'm going to concentrate on photos, so I'm going to show a slideshow of all of the photos in the event. So let's show you how to do that. Click on the editor, and what we're looking at here is a standard event file, and we're looking at the start screen. I've actually removed items from the start screen, so the webcam item and one or two of the text items, just so that we can make some space for a slideshow. So how do we do it? Well, we need to add an image sequence item, which is here. Now by default, an image sequence item contains no photos, no images. To do that, we need to double click, and we need to choose what type of photos we want to show. Now you can show photos from a list of files that you specify in here. You can choose a folder on your machine, or you can choose event. I'm going to choose event because what that does is allow the sequence item to find all of the photos that have been captured during the event and show them one after another as a slideshow. So you literally just tick the event, click OK, and what we're seeing now are the photos that have been taken during this event. So effectively, every time you play the event, the slideshow will show all the photos that have been captured during the event itself. Now let's take a look at some of the properties for this item and see what we can do with it. We show the properties panel. And the thing to concentrate on really is the animation section down here. Now you can see that currently there's no animation on this sequence item. It's literally just showing one photo after another. It's showing the photo for 4 seconds, and then it's showing the next photo in the sequence. And the speed is the amount of time it takes to go from one photo to another, so the transition between the images. And as you can see, they're fading in and out with these 2 tick boxes here. But there isn't actually an animation set on this at the moment, so let's add one. There's a lot to choose from. I'm going to go for the card swap. Now watch what happens. The card swap animation is just transitioning from one photo to another in a card manner, so it's kind of moving the items forwards and backwards between each other. But as you can see, they're actually clipping. Let me just speed up the sequence. So I've actually paused it now for 1 second. So what we've got is a 1 second delay between each of the photos. But it's clipping. So how do we change that? Well, we simply unclip, and now we can see that we are showing the whole of the animation. If I widen this out, so the container is now wider than the actual photos itself, you can see that the animation is going far wider than it was before. I'm going to put it back to what it was, so let's just bring this back down again. So using a combination of the speed and the pause and the fade in and out, you can change the animation look, shall we say. Let's try a different one here. Let's go for lift. What happens now is that the previous photo lifts off the page to show the one below. And there's a lot to choose from. Let's go for shrink and grow. So we're bringing one in and one out. You can also apply various fade effects around the edge of the actual photos themselves. So if I go for radial, you can see that we've now got a rounded edge with a fade on it. Let's just change the pause to 2 seconds. Now obviously you can put these wherever you want, you can set the times up however you like, and you can add more than one actually. So let's, rather than add another one, I'm just going to copy this one. So I click it, it's selected. I'm going to click the copy button and the paste button. And now we actually have two. Let's move this fella over here. Let's put him around a different way. Let's give this a different animation. I'm going to go for zoom in. Actually, I'm not keen on that one. Let's just go for what can we do? Spin on off. Now if I just change the time on this one slightly, let's go for 2.5. I'm also going to change this one to show something different. So rather than showing the photos from the event, I'm going to go for a folder. So let's just choose a folder here. You can now browse your computer. I'm going to go for my pictures. There aren't many in here, but you'll see now that I have a different set of photos on here. Let's just shut this down. So effectively, those animations will occur every time the start screen shows. Now, when somebody comes up to the system and takes a photo, or some photos, the next time the system comes back to the start screen, those photos will be included in this slideshow. You can also mix them up as well. So if I double click this, at the moment, every time the start screen is shown, this image sequence will reset to the start of the list. I'm going to go for a random order as well, so I can now see that the sequence is showing the photos in a different order, so they'll appear totally differently every time. And that's quite useful because obviously if people have taken photos during the event, the last thing you want to do is to come back to this screen and show the same set of photos starting from the beginning every time. So it's just a way of randomizing the way that the photos are shown. Some other things to note, if you look at this one here, you can see that it's clipped along the edge, and that's because we haven't got the size of the container right for the fade. As you can see, if I widen this out, you can see that the left and right edges are square, but as I drag this further in, you can see that the actual animation, the transition is applied correctly. If I look at properties though, I can set stretch. So now it doesn't really matter how you size this, and you find that the animation is the same all the time. And also the fade effect is applying correctly as well. So that's basically an introduction to photo slideshows. Another thing you can do is you could actually add a new screen here and put the slideshow on the screen and then allow the user to choose to see the slideshow. So what we'll do here, if I add a screen, I'll call it slideshow. Now you can see it's a blank screen. I'm going to drop that right down below the splitter line, which means it's never going to show by default. So what we can do now is we can go back to the start screen. I can add a button, and the button can have an action which is to show another screen. You then choose the screen that you want to show, and that was slideshow. I'll probably put a label on as well and just label it up. I can also put the same action on this text as well. So I'll do that just in case the user clicks the text rather than the button. Show screen, slideshow. Right, I'm going to select this and I'm going to select both of the slideshows now, and I'm going to cut them off this page, go to the slideshow page, and I'm pasting them in. So the slideshow page now has the two slideshows that were originally on the start screen. So back to the start screen. Now it's entirely up to the user whether they want to see the slideshow or not. So let's play the event. Click exit. I'm just going to save this. Right, so let's play the event. Click this button. It takes us to the slideshow screen. Obviously there's a lot more you could do on this screen, different backgrounds and so on. We need a way to get back from this, so let's just escape. Back into the editor. On the slideshow screen I'm going to add a button. Well, actually no, what I'll do is I will click on the background, look at properties, and I will choose the action back. Now it's not obvious, but if I now click this button, as soon as I click on the screen it will take me back to the start screen. It might be a better idea on the slideshow screen to have a button to take you back. So back to the slideshow screen, add items, button, properties, and then the click action is back. You could also add some text as well. Let's save this off, play it again, click to show the slideshow, click to go back to the main screen. So I hope you can see that there's lots of different ways in which you can set up photo slideshows. You can have them appearing on the start screen or any other screen for that matter, and you can have them so that they always appear round the loop, or you can get the user themselves to choose to show the slideshow and view the slideshow. And that's the photo slideshow.